Hey guys, we're here in El Paso, Texas, and today I want to talk about the political landscape of our city. I have a lot of people from out of town who are moving from different areas for political or economic reasons, or they just want to see a few different areas in Texas and kind of what it's like. One of the biggest factors for people moving here is actually the politics of the area. Maybe they're moving from a state that they didn't particularly like the politics and they want to come here and have a bit better lifestyle than what they're accustomed to beforehand. So overall, I would define El Paso as a moderately liberal city within a red state. So obviously Texas being a red state. And if you look at the last results for the previous 3 or 4 elections that we've had, El Paso has voted about 65% for the Democrat and about 35% for the Republican in the congressional, gubernatorial, and presidential elections. So it's a fairly moderately liberal city. I would say it's not as liberal as somewhere like Philadelphia or New York City or something like that. You could probably expect 1 out of 3 people would be like a conservative, 2 out of 3 people would be a liberal. And then also at the same time, we are in a red state, so there's usually some kind of conflicts between the state level and the local level of government. Good example of this would be back in 2020 with the COVID policy. There's a clash between our local government here in El Paso that was trying to impose some more restrictions further in 2020. And the state government basically kind of squashed it and said no. So there is kind of that conflict here sometimes. Overall, it's a pretty moderate city though. There's nothing crazy going either way of the political spectrum. So if you're kind of coming from a different area and you're looking for something that's a little more chill, a little more relaxed, the partisanship isn't as huge here, I would say, in my opinion, as some of the other cities. And that goes for whether you're conservative or liberal. But there is sometimes like a little bit of a clash between the state and the local level in terms of specific policies. A good example of that would be the COVID, like mask mandates and shutting down businesses and curfews and things like that. They tried to impose, and basically the state said like, no, we're not doing that. One of the other big issues here, and this is sort of a nationwide issue, but especially in El Paso, is the border security and the crossing of migrants. So recently, since about 2021, we've had a big surge of migrants coming across the Texas border, and El Paso being one of the biggest cities on the border, of course, we experienced some of that as well. Recently, we've had some controversy with our local government here, where we were busing a lot of the migrants from El Paso to New York City. It was averaging about $250,000 a day it was costing to the city government to house and to transport the migrants. Literally, like, it would have bankrupted our city. Recently, we have seen some of the migrants in El Paso airport because the busing has been stopped from here to New York City and other places. The local government is working out some other solutions for the migrants here. That's a constant debate we have here in El Paso over the border issue and border security. We are a majority run Democrat city. As far as the city council, our congressperson's a Democrat, and they've even acknowledged that the border issue is not sustainable with its current numbers. But thankfully, we have seen it cut down a little bit in the past couple of weeks compared to about a month or 2 ago. So the problem is it's not getting worse, it's getting a little bit better. Hoping to see that trend continue. That is one of the biggest, probably hot button political issues, is the border here in our city. Even with the issues with our border, El Paso is still a very, very safe city. We have a lot of border patrol, we have a lot of police here. So don't let that stop you from moving here. It's a great city. You know, we really do not see a lot of crime or violence or anything like that. So there's nothing to worry about in that sense. Overall, El Paso is actually still one of the safest cities in the entire world, not even just the US. So very safe, very clean city. As far as politics and real estate go, if you're looking for a state that is a little more homeowner, maybe a little more landlord friendly, Texas is definitely one of the more landlord-friendly states if you're looking to invest in real estate here and buy some rental properties. For example, we don't have any caps on the rent. There's no really price controls, things like that. We have a fairly streamlined eviction process compared to other states. It can still take a little bit of time, but it's definitely not nearly as bureaucratic as somewhere like California or New York or something like that. So it's one of the most landlord-friendly states, actually, if you're looking to invest in property and invest in real estate here. Texas is a pretty good place. And as far as the homeownership goes, we do have higher property taxes. There is no state income tax, which is fantastic. So we do have higher property taxes here though to kind of make up for that. but Texas does offer homestead exemptions and things like that to help reduce your tax burden for property taxes. That'll help you limit the amount that you're getting taxed on, and that'll also help slow the increase of your property taxes over time as well. That would be for your primary residence, but there are some tax breaks that you can get in Texas, and overall it's a pretty friendly state as far as taxes go. If you have like a small business, if you make a lot of money, Texas is definitely a good place for you to live for sure. Overall, El Paso is a fairly moderate city. I would say it's moderately liberal just because of the makeup of the population. It's about 65% Democrat, 35% Republican in the past few elections. So it's not super crazy. It's not super partisan one way or another. There's a pretty strong presence for both sides of the political spectrum here, I would say. And if you're still looking to move to Texas from a place like California or somewhere, where you don't particularly like the politics, El Paso is still a great city if you want to escape some place like California and if you want to live in Texas. So overall, I would say recommend it. It's a great city. Politics are not super partisan here. And if you're looking to sort of live that Texas lifestyle, El Paso is a great city to choose from. And the great thing about El Paso compared to other cities in Texas as well is that our cost of living is a lot lower than places like Dallas or Austin. Our home prices and our rents are a lot cheaper here compared to the other large cities in Texas. So that is also another advantage if you are looking to live the Texas lifestyle, have the kind of politics of Texas in your lifestyle, but also not pay a ton in rent or home prices. So this is definitely a great place if you're looking for that as well. So if you are looking to purchase a home in El Paso, Texas, or if you need to sell or rent out your home here in El Paso, feel free to reach out to me. If you like the content, please like and subscribe. Thank you.